We go into prisons and we look for individuals, seek them out to say, hey, who's wanting to try to have a relationship with their child? And then we work with those parents, mothers and fathers that are incarcerated, sort of start sharing the gospel message with them. And then we go find their kids to say, hey, do you know your father loves you? Do you know your mother loves you? And they don't.
Yeah.
They don't know that. They constantly are questioning, why would they do what they did if they loved me? They don't know their parent loves them, right? We bring them together and not bring them into the prison and then put them on a telephone and you have the plexiglass.
Yeah.
We work with the wardens to actually get them to open up the prison and we have a celebration.
Yeah.
You get that opportunity as a parent to, you bring the humanity back to the human that is behind bars.
Yeah, dignity.
Right. And allow them to touch, allow them to spend time, allow them to heal their family.
We believe that you are strong by design, and you were made in God's image to have a strong body, mind, and spirit. You're listening to the #1 Strength and Health Authority podcast in the world. So let's get ready to unlock your potential and transform your life in today's episode.
Well, here we are. We're still back at Rise Up Con. I'm sitting here with my good friend Jared, and I'm not talking about myself.
I thought you were going to say my name.
No, I'm here with my okay friend Chris and my good friend Jared.
My best new friend,
That's
Jared.
right. That's
Jared, what's your last name?
Moon.
Moon. M-O-O-N?
That's it.
That's
Just
cool.
like the
Just like
That's
up,
right.
up in the
the
sky.
thing up in the sky.
I was hoping it was a girl's name like Haley,
Why?
because that's my last name.
I mean, you guys
That would
already
be-
have the Jared connection.
That's right.
Like,
That would be
we don't
tough.
have to keep going.
Actually, on Facebook, there's another guy named Jared Haley, and we became friends. And he actually went to Bible college the same time I did.
Get outta
Yeah,
here.
and was like, he was a tennis guy, and
Does he have good hair?
I don't know. I don't pay attention
Do you
anymore.
have the
This
same
was-
birthday?
No, that'd be really scary.
That'd be really
Yeah.
scary.
Actually, when the collider, and we split dimensions.
Yeah,
whatever.
the collider.
Yeah, whatever. I don't know.
I know where you're going. Ridiculous.
Let's go down the rabbit hole.
All right.
Let's
So
go.
anyway,
So Jared Moon
yes,
is
Jared.
here today.
He's 2 booths down from us.
Yes.
At Rise Up Con, and we've just gotten to know him a little bit throughout today, and wanted to have him over because he has cool stuff happening over there with Proverbs 22:6. He does say he has it on recall. So ready, and your mark, set, go.
Proverbs 22:6. Train a child for what they should know, and when they get older, they will not depart.
That's good. So Jared, tell us a little bit about the ministry and what's going on.
Yeah, so Proverbs 2:26 is a nonprofit ministry based out of Charlotte, North Carolina, and we're there to sort of approach the kids that are suffering at the epidemic that is parental incarceration. So in this country, 82% of kids that have at least one parent that has been incarcerated are likely themselves to be incarcerated. 82%.
Wow.
That's what the numbers
It's
say.
a high number.
It's very high.
Yeah, so we have a heart for the kids that are living out the consequences of their parents' decision that they didn't ask for.
Yeah.
Right. And so what we're trying to do is to actually break that cycle.
Yeah.
We want to be able to just take that pipeline and squeeze it and say, hey, you 82% that are supposed to go to prison, we don't want to have that happen.
Yeah.
And so how we do that, how we sort of bear out that ministry is we go into prisons and we look for individuals, seek them out to say, hey, who's wanting to try to have a relationship with their child? And then we work with those parents, mothers and fathers that are incarcerated, sort of start sharing the gospel message with them. And then we go find their kids, which is its own endeavor unto itself, right? And we try to find those kids, see who's willing to say, hey, do you know your father loves you? Do you know your mother loves you? And they don't.
Yeah.
They don't know that. They constantly are questioning, why would they do what they did if they loved me? They don't know their parent loves them, right? And so that's what we try to do. We bring them together and not bring them into the prison and then put them on a telephone and you have the plexiglass.
Yeah.
We work with the wardens to actually get them to open up the prison and we have a celebration.
Yeah.
You get that opportunity as a parent to, you bring the humanity back to the human that is behind
Yeah,
bars.
dignity.
Right. And allow them to touch, allow them to spend time, allow them to heal their family. And you're changing the generational curse at this point.
Yeah.
And so that's seen how we have a big celebration. You wouldn't believe it. You go into a prison and we basically make a carnival.
Wow.
The first part of the morning, we do this on Saturdays. It's like a carnival. And these quote, hardened criminals turn into these big kids, right? You see them see their daughter come running across the room to them for the first time, right? Some of this first time they've met their kids, right? They were born while they were incarcerated, didn't even know it, right? You see those kind of stories. And they had this moment to hold this like baby girl, right? And then they just go into like carnival mode with like cotton candy, right? You know, we have some of the inmates will like just be manning the cotton candy booth, you know, and they're just having a blast. Yeah. They just have this moment to like just be human again in a space that just takes their humanity.
Yeah, it's sad to think that, you know, I don't know what that must be like to have made such a bad decision at a younger age, oftentimes, right, in your teenage or early 20 year, and that bad decision, that choice has now affected you for decades.
Yeah.
And there might be someone listening on the other side who, as a family member or is very familiar with a situation where that was the case. I myself am not all that familiar with what that would be like, but the regret and that burden and that pain and that
the shame,
the shame of it, and just ruining relationship. And so to bring that kind of healing to some of these people, that must be like such a rewarding feeling to know that you've brought some people together, you've healed wounds that have been probably open and raw for a long time.
It's huge too to break that generational sin, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's those things. I mean, we were talking earlier about how even when you don't know the father or you don't know the mother that's in prison, and yet you still end up falling into the same patterns. It's just crazy how that happens.
Yes. Right. There was no relationship, yet the DNA connection, you know, kind of keeps it going.
Well, and when your parent's not there speaking truth to you,
right,
the way they're quote unquote supposed to, right?
Yeah.
Somebody else is, something else is, and that's what always ends up happening. And it's not, you know, it's not us, right? It really is God above softening those hearts. And that's the center of what the Saturday sort of event looks like, is we have the fathers and the mothers at this point write down and sort of write a letter to their kids. So we break bread, we do lunch, and then coming out of lunch, they get to read this letter and then wash their children's feet.
Oh, wow.
And that's when they ask for forgiveness.
Yeah.
This gesture of service to their child, right? And we sort of even say there at this moment, it's this opportunity to say, hey, this isn't some 2,000-year-old story that like is lost in translation. In doing this act, you are keeping this gesture that dates back to Jesus alive.
Wow.
Right? And that is your moment to ask for forgiveness, and you're washing this feet. And at this moment, this inflection point, you will only speak truth to your child moving forward, right?
Yeah.
And that is the gospel message at the heart of it.
Yeah.
That is it, right?
Yeah.
And so these parents that have made the decision to say, you know what, I'm not my sin, I'm not my past, I'm not my mistakes. Jesus has already died for that. They get that realization and then get to pay it forward, if you will, to their child that is living in the consequence of that.
What's cool is that I know that you said that you're seeing transformation not just within individual families, but you're actually seeing transformation within prisons as a whole.
For sure, yeah. So prisons have told us a lot. The wardens a lot of times say, hey, in this day and age, it's really hard to get just good staffing in the prisons at this point. They say there is a tangible difference in the culture of the prison after a Proverbs 2:26 Saturday.
Yeah.
And even beyond that, right? Just they've had inmates come and say, just anecdotally say, I don't want to lose out on the opportunity to reconnect with my child, right? Please stay away from me. Like, I'm not going to get into this altercation. I'm not going to do what is the prison dynamics at that point, right? Which is its own survival state, right? Yep. We've gotten that anecdotal evidence back, and then sort of the numbers bear it out. Our founder, Cyril Prabhu, he's a numbers guy, and he's been a data analyst his whole life, and so he's in the numbers, right? So that's where, like, when he learned about the 82%, he also grew up, he's an Indian man, grew up in India without a father. So this is near and dear to his heart as well. And he knows that curse. He knows what it looks like, and he he remembers that journey he had to go on. And but back to the numbers and what he says, 70% of incarcerated individuals that can get out, the stats say in this country, will be reincarcerated.
Right.
Mm-hmm. We, in Proverbs 2:26, those parents that have had sort of this heart change, we're like less than 4%.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's
Right?
crazy.
Like-
That's a big.
And it's not us. It's the simple moment of turning the families back to themselves, the parents to the kids, the
Yeah.
kids to the parents. And that's the end of the Old Testament, right?
Yeah.
Where God says he will turn the families back, the parents back to the kids back to the parents.
Yeah. Isn't that crazy?
Wow.
The importance of the family dynamic and the attack that is on the family dynamic that's happening. It's like, there's something to that.
Right. The family
Unit. Yeah.
unit is under attack today more than it's ever been in our probably since 1776 and before that, when this country was first formed. And the ripping God out of everything for the last 100+ years and the destruction of the family is why we're seeing what we're seeing happen.
For sure.
The confusion, the attack on our children. It's really fascinating, but your service is pretty extraordinary. That it's using the prison experience and changing hearts.
I love the scripture that says, what was intended for evil, God will use for good.
Yeah.
You know, and I just really see that through what you guys are doing.
So I want to piggyback off of that. I feel like I'd be remiss if I didn't say this. The other part that sort of turning something to good. Last year we were able to get the state of North Carolina has sort of said, hey, we recognize the efforts that Proverbs 2:26 has done. It's been sort of a very effective rehabilitation program for us. And they actually gifted one of the prisons that has been shut down in that state. And they signed the deed over to Proverbs 2:26, gave it to us for $1.
Yeah.
Right? The numbers of that just don't add up, right?
Right.
But sort of transferred over this building that used to be done for evil, so to speak. That was this like dividing part for families.
Yeah.
Gave us that building, and we're now transforming that into a trade school.
Yeah.
Right? If you're gonna break that cycle, if they're not going into the prison system, where are these kids going, right? And so we feel like you need to, and so that's actually the mission behind it. We're trying to save 1 million kids from being incarcerated and get them to school, get them to universities. I think it's 42 states out of the 50 in this country have more prisons than universities.
Yeah, I can't believe that. You said that earlier today, and I was like, wow, that didn't even compute.
Have more prison beds than dormitory beds in colleges and universities.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so it's almost a statement.
Wow.
We could build this school anywhere, right? But to take a building and honestly redeem it, right?
Sure.
And then use it to then glorify God and give these kids the skills and the trade that they need to move forward in
That's
life.
amazing.
Cool. It's really cool.
Well, people wanted to connect with you or wanted to connect with the ministry. What does that look like?
Yeah, so you can always find us proverbs226.org. We're always looking for individuals. One of the biggest things we say, we just need a team of people behind us just praying. Just praying for this mission. We feel very strongly about that God will put it on the hearts of whomever wants to get behind this. Even at this conference, I've talked to numerous people that have come and said, hey, my parent was in prison.
Yeah.
What are you doing here? Because we're sort of giving out some of the barbed wire from that prison that was donated to us as sort of this moment to say like, oh, this is what it is. And they see that, they're like, what is that? And they're even just sharing the stories with us. But yeah, proverbs226.org. That's the best way. There's always different ways. If people's like, hey, prison isn't my thing, I don't want to go in there. Well, we still have to combine the families and have sort of a place that families bring the kids before we go into the prisons. We do a back to school thing where we get back to school stuff. So there's numerous ways that we can get people that want to come. We have sort of, think about it, engagement, low engagement, high engagement, whatever it is, we have something for you. And the other part here, so another reason why we're here, JC Films has made a movie about this. And that's kind of a fun part where we're at. We're going to try to take this movie on the road. We got a bus that's coming literally this weekend. So after I leave here, we're going to go get on the bus and hit the road. and start trying to show this movie. So sort of be on the lookout for that as well, and reach out to us through the website and say, hey, come show the movie at some organization at wherever it is across the country. We're going to go from North Carolina, California, anywhere we need to go, right?
And that movie is called
Break the Cycle.
Yeah.
Break the Cycle.
That's great.
Yep.
Yeah, so anticipate that it'll be out in theaters later this year. We're still working through some of that, but we really want to do that grassroots and try to get. It's an awareness campaign for fatherlessness at the center of it, right?
Yeah.
And so how do we get around that through the lens of incarceration?
Well, we want to stay connected with you so that we can help when this movie does launch. That maybe we can have a full-length episode
for sure
with somebody on the team that you recommend that we can help to promote this.
Yeah. Come down to Florida. Show it in Florida.
Well, that's true.
We're planning on coming down.
Yeah, you said you're going to be down there, so you should swing by.
We'll do a screening and we'll do a podcast with you guys.
That would be awesome.
For sure.
Well, thank you, Jared, so much for coming. Again, that's Proverbs226.org. Jared, blessings to you. We're praying for you.
So we were talking earlier before the event kicked off with John, and John shared with us something about our guest.
Yes.
Our first guest, Laura Klassen, who is sitting with us from
choice42.com.
You did.
I nailed it. Come on, Jared.
Yeah.
I'm all over this. And
here in Sevierville.
Sevierville. I had the hardest time because the I in Sevierville.
I had no idea how to say it.
I wanted to say like Sevier. I thought it was going to be like Sevierville.
They were laughing at us at the Hertz.
Yeah, they were
counter.
laughing at us.
Oh,
They
yeah.
were.
It is
making
weird.
fun of us. Those Hertz ladies.
Yeah.
Anyway, so here we are with Laura, and I'm quite interested in this. In fact, it looks like there's a few booths that are here, kind of in this vein of conversation that we're going to choice42.com. And so what is it that you are trying to accomplish with this platform?
Okay, so Choice for Two is an anti-abortion organization. We're based out of Canada, but because we're all online, we now have a worldwide reach. And we do two things. So on the one half, we're talking with women one-on-one who are considering having an abortion, who are facing an unplanned pregnancy, or even ones who have abortions booked. And we talk with them one-on-one and basically plead for the life of their child and get them to have mercy on their child and to save the life of their child. And then once she's done that, if she does need help, because a lot of women, the reason why they're even considering murdering their baby is because of financial issues, or, we're able to step in and help as needed. The other side of what we do, which is why we're here today, is we create online anti-abortion content, which we've had a couple of viral videos and things like that, which helps the first part of what we do, because women are seeing these videos.
Yeah.
And we have a new series of animated shorts called Exposed. And the first two are out, and Kevin Sorbo did the voice for the first one called The Procedure.
When you say it's out, where is it out?
It's out online for free to watch. It's on YouTube, it's on our website. It's
so
on
you
all
just look up choice42.com on YouTube and it'll pull up?
choicefor2.com is the website. So you just look for Choice for Two on YouTube. But our video page is on our website, which has everything.
Cool.
So, so that's why we're here. Kevin Sorbo's amazing. He just knocked it out of the park, that first episode, which is really intense. Yeah.
Sure. So
we were just,
what got you? Well,
sorry, we were just kind of talking about this yesterday as we were driving about even how women, when they see an ultrasound, it's like 80% of people, and they go, "Oh, that's a real baby inside there," and just the difference that it makes.
It's an interesting thing, because I thought that too.
Is that a random statistic or a false
I don't know
statistic?
about that stat. I wouldn't personally find that to be accurate.
Yeah.
Like, before I started doing this, I thought, for sure, if you tell a woman, like, she just must not understand that this is a human being.
Yeah.
And she must not understand what an abortion procedure does to this human being. But that is not the case, because now that we're talking to these women, they're choosing abortion in the second trimester. Because we even had one woman, she booked a vacation. A vacation came up. She was pregnant. She's like, I don't want to be pregnant on the vacation because I want to party.
Man.
So she had an abortion in the second trimester, just because. And she's like, I'll try
in the second trimester. Oh my goodness gracious.
And I will try again when I get back. That was her thinking. So we're talking to women like that, where it's just like a complete...
It's an inconvenience.
It's an inconvenience, but there's a complete disconnect. Like, they do not care. So You would think that after a woman had seen the ultrasound and seen a little baby moving in there, that they would then be like.
And the stat that's in my head is from like 10 years ago. You know, I mean, it's
that could.
So
yeah, like I don't know.
As culture, like a lot has happened in the last 10 years.
We've gotten worse for sure.
You know?
Yeah.
So a lot more desensitized to all kinds of different.
Well, and I just think as a father of 2 kids, Jared's a father of 4. My wife had a few miscarriages along the way. It wasn't easy. It took us 4 years to get pregnant and have a kid the first time.
Yeah.
And just how challenging and difficult it is for people who are really trying to have children.
Yeah.
And for others to look at it as if it's just changing their wardrobe or, swapping out a car. I mean, it's just, they look at it as if it's not, I mean, it's human life.
Right.
And that's, the older I get, the more strongly I feel about it. I think it is an age thing. I think when you're in your teenage or early 20s, you're so focused on you. And it's, it's like ego and selfishness and all of these things. It's really hard to step out of the situation and look at it for what it is.
Right.
And so you being an advocate for that. And giving women an alternative option to aborting a child and helping them along the way, right? So what does that look like, helping them?
Right. So the first thing that we do is we have a verification system, because people try to scam us a lot because we can't offer substantial help. So we have to have them met in person. Now, because we're worldwide, we've created, thanks to John Speed, honestly, we have this worldwide network of churches and Christians who we can call on and say, listen, we've got a woman in this area. Can you go there and meet with her and get her verified? So she has to show different documents, prove who she is, prove that she's pregnant, this type of thing. Once that's happened, she'll move into financial meetings with our finance team. They go over all of her things, because sometimes, honestly, some women, it's like if you just cut out eating at McDonald's every week, you actually can pay rent. Like it's as simple as that, right? So we're trying to help them to be able to take care of themselves. Now, they do get in situations where they do need help. And so we're able to step in and, cover a few months' rent, buy groceries. We've paid for babysitting so women could go to school and finish their schooling. Other school-related things we've paid for, books and stuff. Almost anything that she needs, just to give her that hand up. Like, we're not there. We always get from like the pro-choice side, well, are you going to take care of this kid for the next 18 years and pay for their college? And it's like, no, we're not. We're going to help this mom to be able to be self-sufficient and to move forward. But even if we were not able to do that, it's still wrong to kill that child, right? Like that is the main message.
Well, and there's the option for them to put the child up for adoption. And there's plenty of loving, interested families that want a child that can't have one.
Yeah.
And just bringing that child to life is, job well done. And then if you want to, kind of go on with your life after that, then then that's up to them, I guess. But
it's interesting though. Like they would rather abort the baby than choose adoption, in their brain thinking that's better for the child. It will be so bad for this kid to know they were given away that I will just kill them.
How many? Gosh, there's millions of people that are alive and walking around that were adopted and had loving, amazing adoptive parents, right?
And they're probably not going, boy, it probably would have been better if I just wasn't born.
Yeah, no.
I mean, sure, they're going to have issues. Sometimes they have issues, or hey, who are my real parents? Like, people want to know their identity, but they're still grateful for their life.
Yeah.
Wow, that's amazing. And how long has this been going now?
So the organization is 8 years old.
Okay.
Yeah.
Terrific. And you're picking up steam, no doubt, I'm sure, and growing and reaching more people. And
and it's funny because we're Canadian, right? So I just started this organization thinking we'd help Canadians because we have no abortion law in Canada, right? Don't know if you know that or not. So
I don't know if I knew that.
You know what? Canadians don't even know it. So it is legal to abort up until the moment of birth. It's paid for by our tax dollars.
Here it's kind of by the states.
That's right.
And,
Canada's a free-for-all. So most Canadians don't even know that, which is horrific.
Yeah.
And then, so it's kind of expanded beyond Canada thanks to the internet, which is great. So now like we're helping women in Africa and in Europe, and it's amazing.
Yeah, that's good. That's cool.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's amazing what you're doing. I think, there's different organizations out there doing different things, and I think that all are necessary. You know, I keep thinking about how there's churches everywhere, right? And they're all pushing the same message, but yet they can't reach everybody. And so for you guys to be able to do what you're doing and to I just think it's an
and to
incredible
tap into
thing.
those networks.
Absolutely.
It's so amazing to have churches step up and take care of the woman locally because we can't be there.
Exactly.
And so they're there.
Exactly.
It's great.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Oh, it's wonderful. Well, thank you so much, Laura, and we'll obviously stay connected with you, so maybe we can dive deeper in a full-length episode with
That'd
you.
be great.
Yeah, I think it's deserving of this topic, certainly, to go deeper. And so, you know, the podcast is also virtual, so that
it is,
really helps us.
Yeah.
So, Jared, anything else, my friend?
No, that's good. Thank you so much for hopping over.
Well, yeah,
blessing.
thanks for the opportunity.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's been wonderful. Here we are still at the amazing
We're Rise Up Con.
Rise Up Con.
That's right. Meeting amazing people.
We are.
Such as
In
this
fact,
fine
we
young
just
gentleman
met this gentleman right here. He's a future Hall of Fame wrestler. What's your name?
Lucas.
Lucas. Lucas has stopped by our booth many times over the last hour.
I would say 5, 6.
5, 6.
How many times have you spun the wheel at this point?
2.
2 times. Oh, that's it?
What'd you win when you spun the wheel? What'd you win?
I won 2 things.
Yeah.
What were they?
I won a jump rope and
Keep here. Keep here.
I won a jump rope and those feet things.
The sliders?
Yeah, the
Exercise
sliders.
sliders. There you go. So what brought you here today, Lucas?
My mom works at Pregnancy Resource Center.
Okay, all right. So your mom dragged you here,
Yeah.
but you're having fun hanging out?
Yeah.
And as a bonus, at 2 o'clock today, you get to meet.
Who? Who you meeting?
Nikita Koloff.
Okay.
Who was what? What was he?
An old wrestler.
Don't say he is. Oh, he's an older gentleman. He's retired now.
Yeah.
No, I meant like
Yeah, I know what you mean.
A real
Back in
old
the-
wrestler.
But he's a
Back in the
he was a
day.
WWE wrestler.
I don't know. Was
Which
it?
federation was he with?
It might have been WWF. I don't know.
Okay, back before
Okay.
it became me.
But
Yeah.
you're a big advocate of wrestling, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And don't you have your own YouTube channel?
Yeah.
What is that called?
WWE Bros.
WWE Bros. And what do you do on your
I
channel?
verified it. It's there. I
It's
saw
there?
the channel.
It exists?
We just like do random stuff. Like one time we went to Chuck E. Cheese.
And you just go places and wrestle.
We went to Abrams
You go to
Falls.
public places and you wrestle.
No.
Oh.
You talk about wrestling?
Yeah, we do sometimes.
Okay.
We have a bunch of wrestling figures, so we like do a
Yes.
lot of stuff with that.
And you have a wrestling shirt on right now.
Yeah. Roman Reigns, John Cena.
John Cena. Never heard of him.
He's
Really?
lying. He's lying to
I'm
you.
lying.
Don't
Can you
believe
tell?
Chris.
Yeah.
Everyone knows who John Cena is.
Who is your
Yeah.
favorite wrestler?
Yeah, who is your favorite?
The Rock.
The Rock. Okay.
Oh, wait, no, LA Knight.
Okay.
All right. That's awesome.
Rock is like top 3.
Yeah.
Guess who
Love
my
it.
favorite all-time favorite wrestler
Hulk
is?
Hogan.
Nope.
Elton Prince.
The cream always rises to the top, brother. The cream rises
You know who that
to
is?
the top.
Hulk Hogan.
Nope.
No.
Like, oh yeah, Macho Man.
Macho
That's
Man,
it.
Randy
You
Savage
did
is my
it.
favorite wrestler.
That's
I'll
true.
show you a picture
Yeah, he has-
when we're done
Yeah.
podcasting.
He has an action figure.
I was
in his office.
Randy Macho Man Savage
Oh,
for
that too.
Halloween last year.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, like, my dad has a bunch of wrestling figures on his wall.
Oh yeah?
So, well, on our game room wall. So, whenever we go in there, I just look up. There's like the whole wall is covered.
Totally.
Yeah.
Awesome.
I'll have to show you.
Love it.
I collect action figures. I only have a few wrestlers, but I have a ton of like Marvel,
Yeah.
DC, G.I. Joe, all kinds of stuff. Lots of Batman.
Lots
Yeah.
of scary stuff.
Awesome stuff.
Well, hey, thank you so much for stopping by
Yeah,
our
Lucas.
table. Go check out WWE
Bros.
Bros on YouTube.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hit the subscribe. Smash
Yeah.
it.
Smash
Yeah.
that subscribe
That's right.
button. How
Love
do
it.
you close out a video for us? How do you close out one of your videos on your channel?
Well, I normally like.
What's your call to action? What do you tell people to do?
See you next time. Like and subscribe to Strong by Design podcast and WWE Bros.
Love it.
Like and subscribe.
Thank you so much for listening to the Strong by Design podcast. If you found value in today's episode, please subscribe so that more people can find out about our show. Plus, you don't want to miss any future episodes with the amazing guests and topics we have lined up for you.